أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to LK Milton class number 20. Today we'll begin our class with a very broad analysis of Suratul Kafirun. The reason we selected this surah is because there are few concepts or tools that we had learned so far. We can actually observe them, how they are playing in this surah. We have introduced the verbs fail, right? And we know about fail or the verb is that whenever there is an action, there has to be a doer of the action. In book 1, we are learning about a very simplistic form of verbs. What we call them fail sulasi mujarrid, or we can call them sound 3-letter verbs. Sound 3-letter verbs. Okay, it's a very simplistic form of verbs that we are learning in book 1. In Suratul Kafirun, the verb that has been used frequently is abada. Abada. What is the meaning of abada? He worshipped. He worshipped. Now, abada is a 3-letter verb, ain, ba, and dal. So, when we talk about the 3-letter sound verbs, the first letter we call it fa kalima or first radical. The second is ain kalima or second radical, and dal is lam kalima or third radical. Fa'ala. So, fa'ala is a pattern. For example, nasara, abada, daraba, khalaqa. So you can say khalaqa, first radical, second radical, and third radical. So abada means he worshipped. There is an action of worshipping, and there is a fa'il or the doer of the action, which is huwa, right? So fa'il is mustatir, taqdiruhu huwa. When I say fa'ala, and this is a concept that usually we learn in book 2, but since we are going to do a high level or a broad analysis of Suratul Kafirun, we might want to introduce ourselves. How do we make fa'il or the doer of the action from the fail or the verb? So when I say abada, he worshipped, right? So the fa'il is huwa. But if I put these 3 radicals fa'ala into a pattern called fa'ilun, so what is the fa kalima? Ain. So instead of fa, I'll put ain there. Ain kalima, I'll put ba there, and then the third radical lam kalima, I'll put dal there. So, fa'ilun becomes abidun. Fa'ilun becomes abidun. Nasara, nasirun. Right? Nasara, nasirun. Khalaka, khaliqun. So, it is very easy. This is fa'ilun is your die, and all you have to do is replace fa kalima with first radical, ain kalima with second radical, and lam kalima with third radical, and you will get your file or the doer of the action. Okay? And this is the simplistic form of coming up with the file or the doer of the action. So, when I say abada, he worshipped, the file is mustatir, taqdiruhu or estimation of it is huwa, he. But who is he? Since he is doing the action of worshipping, we can, in hindsight, we can say that he is abidun. He is abidun. I think it makes sense, right? So, huwa is abidun. Now, abidun is singular, and then we are not going into more details. How do we create a feminine gender, and then the jama and the musanna, the dual form of it and the plural form of it. We are not going into that detail. This is the first day. We are just learning about abidun. Similarly, some verbs are transitive in nature. What do I mean by that? Transitive nature, whenever you come across a verb, and if you remember the second concept, which is maf'ul, fine. If you do not remember it, do not worry about it. Okay? But this is just for extra information. Some verbs, when we come across them, and then you have to ask two questions: what and whom. So, when I say abada, he worshipped, right. So, then you think about he worshipped what, or he worshipped whom. So, that creates a question. So, if it creates a question, remember those two words, what and whom. If adding what or whom creates a question, that means we need an object. I hit what, right? I hit, but then you are wondering you hit what, then I have to bring in the object, or what we call maf'ul, maf'ulun, or object, right. So, if abada is he worshipped, abada is he worshipped, file estimation of it is huwa, and we know since it is an act of worshipping, he is an abid, he worship whom. Then it makes sense, it creates a question. So, that means this is a transitive verb, or in Arabic we call mutaaddi verb. Okay. So, then I have to bring in a maf'ul, object, and similar to the die fa'ilun, if I replace fa kalima with first radical, ain kalima with second radical, and lam kalima with third radical, I come up with ma'budun. Who is my ma'bud? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right. So, this is a die again. Nasara, nasirun, mansurun. Khalaka, khaliqun, makhlukun, right. So, this is just a very simplistic explanation of how do we create the file and the maf'ul. The subject, file is a subject and maf'ul is the object, right. File is a subject, the person who is performing the action, and maf'ul is the object on whom the action has been performed. Now, come to Suratul Kafirun. We will continue our discussion of this surah in the next class as well. Right now, we are only going to pinpoint things that we understand, but we'll do a complete analysis, or not a complete, a more detailed analysis in the next class, inshallah, class number 21. Now, verbs, as we know, so far we've been learning past tense, fi'l madi, right? We've been practicing fi'l madi and we're doing the conjugation of them, but we know verbs can be present tense and future tense, and there is another form of verb in Quran which is called fi'lu amrin, or verb of an order or request, both order / request, the verb of order / request. It becomes an order if somebody who is using that verb who is superior than us, and it becomes request if we are using that verb to somebody who is superior than us. Not going to too much detail how we come to qul, but keep it in mind, because these are the surahs, Suratul Nas, Suratul Falaq, Suratul Ikhlas, Suratul Kafirun, and any other places we do recite qul in our salah. Qul is an order, fi'lu amrin. Qul is an order from whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, there is emotions hiding behind qul, and you do not give order to anybody who is a third person. You only give order to a person who is second person, who is in front of you. So, when in your salah, when in our salah we say qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, that means this qul is being ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us directly in a second person. So, our ears should go up. If my boss or my parents or my teacher or somebody is giving me an order, how could I not pay attention to that, right? How could I not? So, just remember we are not going to analyze or do the surgery on how the qul comes. That's something we will do it in book 2, but remember qul is there. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Al kafirun. What is al kafirun? Noun, plural noun, right? Noun, plural noun. Kafara, kafara, kafirun, kafirun. And what is the plural? Kafirun. We have done that, right? Kafirun. And there is a dual form as well. We are not going to discuss dual, because dual is not very frequently or rarely used in Quran. So, we are only going to focus on the singular and the plural. Kafirun. So, the address here is to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a second person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, you say to them, who? Al kafirun. La, we know la, harfu nafi, right? La is a harfu nafi. We come across la many times in our course so far. A'budu. Now, a'budu is fi'l mudari. Now, I know that we have not done the fi'l mudari form, we have only done the fi'l madi, but a'budu is a mudari form which is a present tense. Now, the beauty of Arabic language is, whenever, and this is something we keep in our mind, the mudari comes, like in this case abudu means I worship in present tense. Now, the beauty of Quran is, whenever the mudari comes, it is not only present, but it also refers to future, because this is present continuous. So, when the ulama or the scholars tell us that Quran is valid until the end of time, right? What does that mean? Why do they say that? Because the choice of verbs in the Quran when it comes to mudare is a present continuous form of verb. So, this abudu, this moment is valid, in the next 1 hour it will be valid, and in the next few years until the end of time this abudu will remain valid, because the present tense in Arabic language also represents future tense. And there is, just to clear some ambiguity here, there are two special harf or particles which are, if we use them with the mudare, then it is exclusively for future, but that's sofa and seen, right? But we'll learn them later. So, but for now, abudu. Now, what is the meaning? Now, we have not done the mudare yet, but abudu means I worship. I do not worship. Ma, have you come across ma? Yes, ma. Ma has different flavors. Here, ma is coming as ismu mausula. Ismu mausula. Ma come as a negation, ma come as an interrogation, and ma come as ismu mausula. We had learned these three flavors in the class number 19. Here, ma is coming as ismu mausula, and remember, I do not worship what? Now, whenever ismu mausula comes in Quran, there is always a silatul mausul, something that would describe ma or ismu mausula. What is that silatul mausul? Ta'budun. Now, ta'budun is fi'l mudare, again present tense. You all worship. I am not going into detail, right? You all worship, not worshipped, worship. You all worship. So, if I have to use in today's word, if I have to use this ayah, that means this ayah is still valid. If I am addressing it to kafirun, I would say, La abudu, I do not worship what? You all, not just singular, plural, you all worship. Okay. Wala, wow, we know, harfu atfin, la is nafi, harfu nafi, negation. Antum, now, do we know antum? Yes. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, you all. Anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. The 14, damirun, munfasilun, detached pronouns, and detached pronoun we learned they come on their own, they do not attach themselves to anything, and there is damir muttasil form which has to attach themselves to something. So, this is damir munfasil. Antum, you all. Wala, and you do not all. Abidun. Now, what is abidun? Worshipper. Worshipper, singular. If I would have to make a plural out of it, it would be abiduna. So, that is your noun, abiduna. And you all are not worshipper. You are all not worshipper. Ma abud, what I worship. Abudu again is fi'l mudare. So, this ayah or any this surah or any surah, initially Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam make these statements, please, right? But now, through Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering us to make these statements. And since, if you look at the structure, the grammatical structure of these ayah, you are bound to think that yes, this is valid even today. This is even valid today. Wala antum abiduna ma abud. Ma is ismu mausula and abud is your silatul mausul, fi'l mudare, I worship. Va, harfu atfin, la, harf nafiyun, ana, Damirun munfasilun. Ana nahnu, first person. Ana, and I am not abidun. I am not a worshipper. Ma abattum, what you all worshipped. Abattum, worshipped. Wala antum abiduna ma abud lakum deenukum waliyadeen. Now, this is a repetition of this ayah. The last one, lakum. What is lakum? Harf jar, ism majroor. Harf jar li, for you all, or for you all. Li means for or belong to. Lakum, for you all. What is this kum? Damirun muttasilun. Now, does it make sense now? Now, are we learning something? Now, can we at least know what is being said in Quran? Yes. Deenukum, deenu. We know deen means religion. Lakum, for you all. Deenukum, your religion, your all religion, in plural. Va, and. Li, for me. Now, let us do harf jar li. Lahu, lahuma, lahum, laha, lahuma, lahunna, laka, lakuma, lakum, laki, lakuma, lakunna, li, lana, and for me, my deen. There is a grammatical technicality here. How do we translate it? And for me, my deen. Now, my deen, I should be seeing a ya mutakallim there, right? The mir muttasil, we have learned that. I should see, but this is a style. It is deeni, my deen, but when the ya goes away, it leaves the kasra there to indicate that I was there once, now I am gone, but don't forget me. I was there once, but I am gone now, but don't forget me. This is a style of Quran. That is how we know, and for me, my deen. Very broad analysis. Okay. Now, the homework for this week is go back whenever you get time during this week, open up this surah, okay, read through it, try to analyze it yourself, try to translate it yourself, and if you have not memorized it, you should be able to memorize it very quickly. Once we understand the grammar and the language, I tell you, memorizing the surahs is very easy, because you know what you are saying. You don't have to just close your eyes and memorize it. You actually know what you are saying. Memorize it, try to translate it, try to analyze it, and we will do a bit more detailed analysis in the next class, inshallah. But we just wanted to get a bit flavor from this surah, knowing that we have few tools in our toolkit that we can apply here, and this is what the purpose of this course is, inshallah. We will begin with our lesson number 11, page 61, lesson number 11. In this lesson, there is no new concept that Dr. Saab is teaching us. There is no new concept that Dr. Saab is teaching us, but this is more a revision of what we had learned in lesson number 10, which is damirun muttasilun, the attached pronoun. Haza baiti. What kind of jumla is this? Jumla ismiya. Haza mubtada. Where is the khabar? Baitu. Mufrad. Baitu, and it is also a mudaf, because baiti is my house. This is my house. So, Baitu is your khabar, wa huwa mudaf, and ya mutakallim is mudaf alayh. Okay. This is my house. Translate it. Baiti amam al masjidi. Now, Baiti, what is the meaning of Baiti? My house. My house. Where is the mubtada? This is jumla ismiya. Where is the khabar? Baitu. Bahuwa, and it is also mudaf, and ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Al idafa, possessive case, right? My house amam al masjidi. Where is the khabar? Amama. My house is front, is in front. Now, remember, what is amama? It is adverb of place, and zarfu makan, right? Zarfu makan is adverb of place, and zarfu zaman is adverb of time. Now, we know from our previous lessons that few zarfs need mudaf alayh to explain themselves. So, when I say my house is in front, then you need more information. Front of what? Then I have to bring in mudaf alayh. Al masjidi, the masjid is in front of the masjid, right? Front of the masjid. Baiti jamilun, very simple. My house is beautiful. Baitu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim mudaf alayh, and jamilun is your khabar. Very simple. These are very simple sentences, right? Baiti jamilun. And as we go along in our course in book 2 and book 3, what we are doing here, we will go more deep inside using the grammar tools that we know, and then with our discussions we will find out there are so many colors and so many concepts and details that are hiding in these ayahs that we will be able to explore, but with knowledge. Right now, that is why I said right now this is a broad analysis. There is no shortcut to learning Arabic. That is my statement. There is no shortcut to learn Arabic language. You can have people offering 3 months, 1 month, learn Arabic in 1 month, learn Arabic in 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I am not saying that they are useless, but you will not be able to learn the language. There is no shortcut. You have to spend time, practice, and every single time you practice, learn, this will be counted. The time that we spend would be counted as your ibadah. Now, Baiti jamilun, my house is beautiful. Fihi hadiqatun saghiratun. What kind of jumla is this? Jumla ismiya, nominal sentence. But remember one rule: jarun wa majrurun, zarf and mudaf alayh can never be mubtada, but in few cases they can precede the mubtada, they can come before the mubtada, and mubtada will come after it. And if the mubtada comes after it, most of the time it will be indefinite, because we know mubtada is definite and marfu if it comes in the beginning, right? But if the mubtada is coming after the khabar, jarun wa majrurun or zarf mudaf alayh, then mubtada will be most of the time indefinite. Fihi, in it, fi harf jar, he ism majroor, khabar muqaddam, we call it khabar muqaddam. What is the khabar? Mubtada hadiqatun, mubtada muakhar. In it, hadiqatun saghiratun. What is the meaning of hadiqatun? Garden, okay, and saghiratun means small. Now, hadiqatun is feminine in nature, because I can see the ta marbuta there. Therefore, saghiratun is a naat, and naat has to match with the manut in 5 criteria. So, if the gender is feminine, then the naat has to be feminine as well. Therefore, we say saghiratun. Watch for these small little things that Dr. Saab is teaching us, apply these concepts. There is a small garden in it. Hazihi ghurfati. Hazihi ghurfati. Now, ghurfatun or ghurfatu, again it is feminine. So, what about mubtada khabar? They have to match in gender. Have to match in gender. So, ghurfatu is your khabar. So, the mubtada is hazihi. Hazihi. Hazihi ghurfati. This is my room, and it is ghurfatu is your khabar wa huwa mudaf ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Pick up your books and write it down on your books. If I can show you my book, you can see the entire page. I have many notes on this page. Write them down. Fiha nafizatun kabiratun. Okay, stop there. Fiha nafizatun kabiratun. What is the meaning of nafizatun? Window. Window. Kabiratun, big. Nafizatun, kabiratun, big window. Fiha, we can analyze it. This is my room. Now I am explaining what's in my room. Fiha. Now why ha here? Because nafizatun is feminine in gender. So I cannot use fihi here. I have to use fiha. Remember, hu, huma, hum, ha for hiya, for a feminine gender. Fiha, in it there is a big window. Wow.
Fiha, window is in the room. So this ha could be for the room.
Nafizatun, yeah, nafizatun, yeah, in the room. Wow is your harfu atfin. Mirwahatun, what is the meaning of mirwahatun? Fan. Jamilatun. In it, there is a big window, like in your room there is a big window, and mirwahatun jamilatun, big ceiling fan. A beautiful ceiling fan. Jamilatun means beautiful. Mirwahatun jamilatun, beautiful ceiling fan. Haza sariri. Haza is your mubtada. Sariru is your khabar. Wahuwa mudaf ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. This is my bed. Wahaza kursiyi wahaza maktibi. Now I'm just in my room. I bring it to my room and I tell you, this is my bed, this is my chair, and this is my desk. Sariri, kursiyi, wa haza maktabi. Now, haza sariri, haza kursiyi, haza maktabi, they are all jumla ismiya. They all have mubtada khabar, and they all are joined by harfu atfin. What is the function of harfu atfin waw? It can either join two words or two sentences, right? So we say haza sariri, this is my bed, wa haza kursiyi, and haza kursiyi is matufun ala or connected back to the first sentence, and haza maktabi connected back to the first sentence. Sa'ati wa qalami wa kitabi alal maktabi. Now this is sa'ati. What is the meaning of sa'atu? Watch. Watch. Sa'ati. So sa'atu is your mubtada wa huwa mudaf, and ya mutakallif is your mudaf alayh. My watch, wa, and qalami, again mudaf alayh. Now do I say qalami again just like sa'ati? I say sa'ati is your mubtada wa huwa mudaf and mudaf alayh, and then comes waw, and then qalami, my watch and my pen. Now how do I grammatically analyze qalami? This is only mudaf alayh. Mubtada already come. Mubtada already come. Sa'atu. Qalami is your mudaf alayh. Wa kitabi, and my book. Alal maktabi is on the desk. So we say sa'ati, my watch and my pen and my book, Alal maktabi is your jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla khabar. Wa haqibati, and my bag, tahta al maktabi. What is tahta? Zarf, zarfu makan, and al maktabi mudaf alayh. And my bag, haqibatu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Tahta is your zarf, shibu jumla, and al maktabi mudaf alayh. Once we read these sentences, step 1, identify whether it's a jumla ismiya or a jumla fe'liya. Step 2, before analyzing, try to translate it. Step 3, try to analyze it with practice. My bag is under the desk. Nafizatun ghurfati maftuhatun. Nafizatu ghurfati maftuhatun. Now this is a beautiful sentence. Let's try and analyze it. I didn't say nafizatun, I say nafizatu. I didn't put tanween there, okay, even though I don't see there is an Arab there, but why? Nafizatu means window. Now watch, and this what about mubtada? Mubtada are marfu? Yes. Mubtada are definite? Yes. Now nafizatu, is it definite? I don't see an al there. This is not a proper noun, but it is definite, and I can prove that this is definite. This is how, once you practice, and then you would have, if you know the tools. Nafizatu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, window of my room, window of my room. So nafizatu is acting two roles here. It is mubtada and it is also a mudaf. And nafizatu ghurfati. Now ghurfatu is your mudaf alayh for nafizatu, wa huwa mudaf, and ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Window of my room, window of, and I know that if mudaf alayh is definite, then mudaf is also definite, because I am talking about a specific possessive case. Now ghurfati is your mudaf alayh, my room. So ghurfati without the ya mutakallim is definite, because ya mutakallim is definite, and we know damirun, muttasilun, all of them are definite. So if ya mutakallim is definite, then ghurfati is definite, and since ghurfati is also playing a role of mudaf alayh for nafizatu, so nafizatu is a definite as well. Is it confusing? No, I think it's good, right? Yeah, mashallah. Maftuhatun is open, right? Window of my room is open, maftuhatun. Where is the khabar? Maftuhatun is the khabar. Hazihi ghurfatu akhi. Hazihi ghurfatu akhi. Hazihi is your mubtada, ghurfatu is your khabar. This is room akhi. Now again this is the same case. Ghurfatu akhi, room of my brother. So I am not saying ghurfatun, I am saying ghurfatu. Hazihi ghurfatu akhi, this is room of my brother. Same thing, ghurfatu is your khabar, wa huwa mudaf, and akhi without ya mutakallim mudaf alayh, wa huwa mudaf, and ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Wa tilka ghurfatu ukhti, and there is room of my sister. Same thing. Ghurfatu akhi kabiratun wa ghurfatu ukhti saghiratun. Discrimination. That's not good. Ghurfatu akhi kabiratun, room of my brother is big and room of my sister is small. And same grammatical analysis. Kabiratun, Saghiratun is the naat. Ghurfatu akhi amama ghurfati. Now, ghurfatu akhi. Ghurfatu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf. Akhi without ya mutakallim, mudaf alayh. Wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim, mudaf alayh. Room of my brother, amama. Now, amama is your khabar, zarf, shibu jumla, zarfu makan. Front of ghurfati, mudaf alayh. Front of room. What kind of room? My room. Mudaf, mudaf alayh. Wa ghurfatu ukhti amam al matbakhi. And room of my sister is in front of the kitchen. Again, same thing. Ghurfatu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf. And ukhti without ya mutakallim is your mudaf alayh. Wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim, mudaf alayh. Amama is your zarf, zarfu makan, shibu jumla, al matbakhi, mudaf alayh. If you can do the analysis on lesson number 11, Dr. Saab very wisely and cleverly is bringing in almost all the concept that we have learned so far in this lesson. If you can analyze this small essay, it's just almost a page, 3/4 of a page, then what we have learned so far, if we can do it, this is a testimony that we have learned our course so far. Li akhun, I have a brother, wahidun, one brother. Li akhun, wahidun, I have one brother. Now, li is harf jar, ism majroor, khabar muqaddam, and akhun is your mubtada muakhar. Wahidun is your naat. Ismuhu Usama, his name is Usama. Ismu mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, hu mudaf alayh, his name. And where is the khabar? Usama, right? Wali ukhtun wahidatun, and I have one sister. Wali ukhtun wahidatun. Now, you see how wahidun came for akhun and wahidatun comes for ukhtun. Ismuha Su'ad, right? Her name is Su'ad. Abi wa ummi, my father and my mother, fi tilkal ghurfatil kabirati. Okay, my father and my mother. Where is the mubtada? Abu, wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim, mudaf alayh. My father. Then comes ataf, ummi, my mother. Now, ummi is mudaf alayh only. We do not say this is mubtada because mubtada already came.
Otherwise, another sentence.
Yeah, otherwise, yes, because there is one mubtada and there is one khabar. Abi wa ummi, my father and my mother. Now, where is the khabar? Fi tilka. Fi harf jar, tilka ism majroor. My father and my mother in that big room. Now, fi tilka. Now, I don't see tilka being majroor form here because tilka is mabni. Now, remember haza, hazahi, zalika, tilka, all ismu ishara, they are mabni, they are fixed, they do not decline. But if there is a fi in front of tilka, then my mind knows that this is in a majroor form. My mind knows this is in a majroor form. So, fi tilka is your khabar. What is al ghurfatu? What is the grammatical value of al ghurfatu? This is a trick question. If any of you said this is a badal, then you are absolutely right. Because remember, if after ismu ishara comes a definite noun, then it is your badal. So, when I say my father and my mother is in that, and I am pointing because ismu ishara is pronoun of demonstration. So, I am pointing towards the big room. So, al ghurfatu is the badal and al ghurfati. Now, why I am saying al ghurfati? Tilka al ghurfati al kabirati. Now this is something to note for. Fi tilkal ghurfati al kabirati. Why al ghurfati and al kabirati are majroor? Because tilka is majroor, and tilka is majroor because of fi. I say it and I say it over and over. If we can learn to analyze the Arabic grammar, your IQ level will definitely go down. Even in your job, you have any issue, any project that comes in, you should be able to resolve it very quickly. Your IQ level goes up. Al ghurfati, because this is the badal and mubdal manhu, they are both in the same case ending. And al kabirati is your naat, and I know the naat manut are in the same case ending. Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi, I love my father and my mother. Okay, ana is your mubtada. Uhibbu, this is a verb, I love. Uhibbu ana, I love. Uhibbu abi wa ummi, I love my father and my mother, right? Ana is your mubtada. Where is the khabar? In class number 19, we learned about the 5 types of khabar. Khabar can be a mufrad, one word. Khabar can be jarun wa majrurun. Khabar can be zarf mudaf alayh. Khabar can be jumla ismiya itself, and khabar can be jumla fe'liya. Now, uhibbu abi wa ummi, I love my father and my mother, is a jumla fe'liya, verbal sentence. So, this entire jumla fe'liya coming as a khabar for ana, mubtada. Okay. Uhibbu, I love. Abi wa ummi, abi is mudaf alayh, waw atf, ummi mudaf alayh. Wa uhibbu akhi wa ukhti, same thing, and I love my brother and my sister. Tamarin. Man haza fil baiti. The answer is man haza. Now immediately when I say man, I know that we are talking about aqil group. Aqil group, right? We know the aqil and the ghair aqil group. Man fi hazal baiti, who is in this house? The answer is fihi Hamidun. My friend came. Fihi Hamidun. Hamid is in it. Fihi jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam. Hamidun mubtada muakhar. Maza fil haqibati, what is in your bag? Maza. Now we have not done maza yet, we will learn it in book 2. Maza fil haqibati, what is in your bag? Fiha kitabi wa qalami wa daftari. Now fiha comes jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam. Kitabu is your mubtada. Kitabu is mubtada, wa huwa mudaf alayh, waw ataf, wa qalami mudaf alayh, wa daftari, and my notebook, right? So kitabu is your mubtada muakhar.
The difference between the man and ma just came.
Yes, the difference between man and ma. Thank you, Samad bhai. The difference, so difference in man is for aqil group and ma is for ghair aqil group. Now we are talking about the ghair aqil group. Kitabi, kalami, daftari are ghair aqil. Number 3. Man fi sayyarati, who is in the car? Fiha abi wa ummi wa akhi wa ukhti. Very simple. First, we know this is jumla ismiya, step 1. Step 2, translate it. Step 3, analyze it. Remember those 3 steps. So first we know this is jumla ismiya, translate it. Who is in the car? My father, my mother, my brother and my sister in it, are in it, right? Fiha jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam, and abu is your mubtada muakhar, wa huwa mudaf and ya mutakallim mudaf alayh, and then you continue the drill. Yes, Mudaf, mudaf alayh, mudaf, mudaf alayh, mudaf, mudaf alayh. And waw is your ataf. They are all joined together in the end, because the function of waw is to join either two sentences or two words. So, we join them together. Number 4, man fi masjidil jamiyati al-ana. Who is in Jama Masjid al-ana now? Now, al-ana is your zarf. We are not going to analyze the questions until book 3. Just translate it. Man fi masjidil jamiyati al-ana. Who is in the masjid, Jama Masjid now? The answer is ma fihi ahadun. There is no one in it. No one in it. Ma is coming as harfun nafi. Ma is coming as harfun nafi. Fihi jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam, and ahadun mubtada muakhar. Number 5, man fi hazihil ghurfati. Who is in this room? Answer is fiha al-mudiri. Al-mudiru. Fiha al-mudiru. Now, fiha jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, khabar muqaddam, al-mudiru mubtada muakhar. The mudir is in it. The mudir is in it. Last one. Iqra. Read. Uhibbu abi wa ami. We know this is jumla failure. I love my father and my mother. Number 2. Uhibbu akhi ba ukhti. I love my brother and my sister. Uhibbu zamili. I love my colleague or class fellow. Uhibbu ustazi. I love my teacher. Now, uhibbu is fail mudare. It's not fail madi. Okay. So, whenever there is an action, there has to be a doer of the action. In this case, who is the doer of the action? Ana. But ana is mustatir. We will, when we will learn fail mudare, then we will know there are 5 forms of mudare that yes, the doer of the action or the file is mustatir, and then we have to estimate it, and it's very easy. But I'm just saying uhibbu means I love. So, uhibbu is fail mudare, and then the file is mustatir, is hidden, taqdiruhu, estimation of it is ana, I. Uhibbu ustazi, I love my teacher. Uhibbu Allah, I love Allah. Now, one thing you may notice in number 5 that Allah is mansub. Remember, when we were doing this surah, we talked about certain verbs, they are transitive in nature. In Arabic, we call them mutaaddi. Okay. Now, I don't think Dr. Saab is trying to teach us this concept here. This is a fair advanced topic. But since we are doing this surah, when I say I love, remember the 2 questions that you ask, what and whom. Then if I say I love what or I love whom, that creates a question. So, that means it is a transitive verb. If it is a transitive verb, then I have to bring in the maf'ul, the object. Uhibbu, I know the file is ana, hiding inside uhibbu, mustatir, hiding inside, taqdiruhu, estimation of it is ana. But then I love whom? Then I have to bring in the object. Now, the objects are, now both fa'ilun and maf'ulun are ism, nouns, and similar nouns we know can be in a marfu form, can be a mansub form, and can be in a majroor form. Similarly, fa'il and maf'ul can be in marfu form, can be in a mansoob form, and can be in a majroor form. And whenever there is an object associated with a verb, that object will be in a mansoob form. If you remember it, fine. If you don't remember it, don't worry about it. So when I say uhibbullaha, that means I love whom? Allah. Allah is coming as a maf'ul here. That is why it is mansoob. This is an extra bit of information. You don't have to remember it, but if somebody catches it, remembers it, alhamdulillah. Number 6, uhibbu, I love an-nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I love the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right, same thing. An-nabiyya is your maf'ul. And then last one, uhibbu al-lughata, I love the language. Al-lughata al-arabiyata, I love the Arabic language. Right. The first one is uhibbu ummi, uhibbu abi wa ummi. Now uhibbu, I love abi. Now abi is your maf'ul, but it has a kasra in it because of the ya mutakallim. It's a spelling rule. So remember, I said whenever there is a ya mutakallim, it is compatible with a kasra. So the word or the letter coming before ya mutakallim will get the kasra with ya. So that's why from spelling rule perspective we say abi, but abu or abba, I know in my mind that it is mansoob and it is maf'ul, right? And same with ummi, same with ustazi, same with akhi and ukhti, but they all get the kasra because of ya mutakallam. I think that is enough for us. So we finish our lesson number 11. Alhamdulillah, we'll start lesson number 12, which is a beautiful lesson, and Dr. Sahab is bringing one new concept in this lesson, which we will learn in the next class, inshallah. With that, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, laha ma kasabat wa alayha maktasabat. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alayna isran kama hamaltahu ala allazina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih, wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana fansurna alal qawmil kafirin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.